It's the last chance for Worlds. The pressure is definitely on us right now, and we just have to perform. There's nothing else to it.
To be able to bring it back and actually go to Worlds would be amazing for us, considering our pretty terrible season.
이번 기회를 놓치면 정말 다음 스프링까지 쉬어야 되는 거니까 무드급하는 게 엄청 중요해요.
Cloud9 are moving on, able to come back from the 0-2 that Gravity put them in.
I think we can always come back from being down 0-2.
If we have to go to 5 games again, I'm fine doing that, but I much prefer shorter.
선발전에서 가장 무서운 상대가 신이에요.
Honestly, I was more afraid of Gravity than TFP. They're very predictable.
Another point of doing this is redeeming ourselves. Being able to prove that we're still a good team and showing the world that.
We have to prove ourselves, I think, is the best way to put it.
The dream for Worlds is still alive.
Welcome to day 2 of the North American Regional Qualifiers, coming to you live from Los Angeles, California. The crowd is absolutely pumped up and ready for games today as we continue the Regional Qualifier. Everyone lined up, waiting outside to get in and watch Cloud9 taking on their games today. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Cloud9 walking in right now, and Apollo and Gate go ahead, getting their bot lane synergy and mid lane synergy in as they nom down into food to get ready for the games today. Hello everyone, I am Rivington Bison III, and helping me throw off Dash's analyst desk reign of terror, it's going to be Aiden Zyrene Moon and our special guest, Brandon St. Vicious DeMarco. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having us. Down with Dash! No, I'm just kidding. No.
He's testing out the island right now, so we'll see if he's getting the coconuts, able to bring them down.
Making sure he's got that route down.
We're going through
but I think this is the first day Dash hasn't been on the desk.
We'll see how he does. It's going to be different for him. I'm sure he'll come back stronger than ever, though.
We love you, man.
So we want to take complete advantage, obviously, of having Saint on the desk. So we're going to press his expertise and solicit some questions with him today. So head over to Twitter and hit up Saint. You know how this works. Tweet at LOL Esports with the hashtag AskSaint. We'll see if you can withstand your hard-hitting questions about game strategy, champion builds, or impending world championships. Maybe, just maybe, you'll learn something that could save your life out there on the Rift. Now, turning to the regional qualifier, let's start by pulling up the bracket to set the stage. Cloud9 got a slow start, but managed to pull off a reverse sweep to take down Gravity 3-2. Today, they face Team Impulse, and the winner then will have to get through Team Liquid. One boss down for Cloud9. 2 more to go. But it did not look like it was an easy boss to take down yesterday, and they're going to have harder.
Oh, yeah. They showed a lot of resilience, though, on Cloud9's side. Being able to reverse sweep 2-0 down, then able to come back. You have to be able to just shrug off those losses. They seemed very calm coming into Game 3, which you see there on your screen. And Cloud9, they have more experience playing on the big stage and in high-pressure situations than most teams in the league. They have been to Worlds multiple times, and they know what it's like to be down in games. So coming back for them just shows that they still have that resilience in the squad.
Right, and St. Vicious, Cloud9 had a few weeks of downtime off. You know, what stood out to you coming into these games, or last series, I should say?
I mean, really, the fact that they ran the Amumu Karma, of course, stood out, but I like the fact that they were able to adapt, you know, halfway through the series and like, okay, this isn't working for us, we need to change it up, and we need to move towards a different route. And they went with kind of the farm-heavy jungles for high, where we went with the Shyvana and the Kazakhs. And they just changed up their whole play style and it worked out for them.
Do you feel like with the way that Cloud9 was playing it, there was room for the Amumu to work in that composition?
I mean, it's still Amumu at the end of the day. Like,
so what's that mean?
I mean, Mumu just, there's a reason that it's not played in competitive play. It just gets outpaced by every jungle. Like, the ganks are kind of wonky, and especially since it was the only engage tool in Cloud9's team comp, it's like, once they get QSS or cleanse or anything like that, it's super difficult for the Mumu to just lock everybody up because there's no follow-up.
That's exactly what we saw.
Yeah, he wasn't using it appropriately as well. I have no mana, I have no flash. Like, a lot of things that went very wrong besides the composition. But there was things that were going right for Cloud9 as well. Incarnation actually had a really, really good series for himself. Nabbing player of the series, he stepped up in those games. And Incarnation is feeling very confident coming into these games today. And he said in his interview yesterday, he's not afraid to face anyone. And that, honestly, is especially understandable today because he's up against Gate. Gate is a guy who's very punishable in lane. Gate has not had these stellar performances. You put him on wave clears. They also run one-threat compositions that revolve around Apollo and not this guy in the mid lane. And you can see there, even his CS differential at 10, he averages down over all the games he's played so far. So Gate has been very underwhelming coming in, but replacing Xiao on short notice, I don't give him too much blame.
I think that's going to be the big deciding factor in the series, too. I think if they can't get Gate on some of the wave clear mids, like an Azir or Victor, and he has to go back to something like the Lulu or God knows what else he's playing, maybe Diana.
There's a lot in this series, though, because we've seen both mids play Diana, Victor, and Azir, and then Lulu is another thing that's up both these teams' sleeves. So coming into picks and bans, no mid laner is completely bannable. They'll always have something up their sleeve.
Incarnation with Yasuo recently as well. They're trying to really change things up, but his assassins, what everybody was expecting him to play on, haven't actually been that strong. So
yeah, I like to see him on Orianna and things like that, too. I think that his control mages are actually a very good thing for Cloud9 to fall back on.
Yeah, and I think NA's seen enough Yasuo after the TSM performance on it. So.
We got Yasuo fever. I don't know why everybody's locking it in for just willy-nilly. It's not even a Yasuo composition half the time, too.
Yeah, I like it with the Gragas where you have like the whole setup on it and it's all just goes together really well. But some people are just like, oh, we'll just pick Yasuo. Like, why not?
And look at in that game, we can do it too. And we can maybe do it better. So for Team Impulse, there is a trip to Worlds on the line. So you know they were watching yesterday's series to take some notes on Cloud9. I mean, how could you not be?
Well, I mean, I got a tweet that Rush wasn't watching and actually playing solo queue. But
call me a liar.
That aside, Cloud9 showed a very diverse playbook. And while one of the criticisms against Team Impulse was that they were one-dimensional in playoffs, they did try to make some adjustments for their third-place match against Liquid. But it's still the same formula at the end of the day. It's a one-threat composition around Apollo. You put impact on a tank. You have Rush on a champion that tries to affect the early game, and then Adrian is just playing some type of disengage or helpful support. Wave clear mid, and that's the thing is there's so much on Apollo's shoulders here, and the question is, did Team Impulse reveal all their cards, or have they been able to cook up something specific for Cloud9? Have they been able to run multi-threat compositions, whether it's Gate, whether it's putting impact on a top lane carry like Gangplank?
Yeah, I want to see Impact playing. I mean, he used to play a lot of Rumble and he used to carry really hard on that champion. I also want to see him maybe on a Gangplank. Like, I feel like just with the dynamic that TIP has now, where Gate's not exactly. Before they had Zhao Wei Zhao, it's like, oh yeah, he's just going to come into the mid late game. He's going to have a million CS. He'll show up and he'll do some damage. But I don't really think you can count on Gate being that consistent factor. So you need to use your strong points and just go with the fact that Rush and Impact have such great synergy, and they just go off and carry the game through that.
And that's another lane I want to look at quick. We're talking about Gate and Incarnation, but that's quickly affected by Rush and High. And how do you think that matchup is going to go, being a jungler yourself?
I don't know how to say it nicely. But I mean, okay, Rush is like way more aggressive to play against, and if you're not ready for it, then he'll just run you over. So I think if High tries to play this farmy playstyle where you just have Shyvana or Kha'Zix, and those champions are not the greatest duelers in the early game if you get caught out, and I think they can punish it really hard.
Right. And at Madison Square Garden, Rush did say that they were ready to go to Worlds, but as a third seed, if we had more time. So how do you prepare for a player like High? I know you kind of just asked you this, but now that he can go for the Kha'Zix, the Shyvana, almost play a solo queue style, how do you fight against that?
I mean, you know, Rush is he's like rank 1. I don't think he's rank 1 anymore. He's like rank 3, but he understands. No. He knows. Yeah, oh no. But I think he understands like how to play a little bit around the solo queue cheese and stuff. And I mean, he plays the full DPS Evelynn. He'll play like the DPS Lee Sin. I mean, he knows how to play some solo queue cheese too. So I think maybe he'll just meet cheese
at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, you had to watch out for that though, because yesterday High depended on his farming, right? And Rush is such a disruptive jungler to the flow of the game. He tries to get it going in his favor immediately. And High's not going to get the time of day to just sit there and farm his camps. Right. Rush is going to gank your lanes. He's not going to be Move who just sits around and tries to ward, and did go for some ganks, but Rush is going to be that times 10.
Yeah, and I think just the fact that Move fell behind so far in just the CSing. I mean, he's like trying to play damage control and protect all his lanes, but while he's doing all that, he's just falling so far behind in farm, it doesn't matter. And they just went into team fights, and he just got outscaled. So I don't think that Rush is going to let that happen to himself.
Yeah.
So looking at picks and bans coming into this one quickly before we throw it over, Soraka actually came out as kind of a what was this Adrian over at Madison Square Garden. Do you think Cloud9 is going to be affected by that at all, or overlook it, use their bans for other lanes?
I don't know. I think they're going to ban out Nidalee. I think that's one of Rush's best champions.
Right. Yeah,
Focus
Nidalee
Rush's
out.
champion pool. I think Azir is also going to have to be a ban from the red side in this series. And Soraka, I don't know, maybe Lemon's been playing it. Lemon plays a lot of crazy things, right? He had the Karma, which didn't really work out too well, but I don't know if it's actually going to be that highly contested. Maybe it'll come up as a ban because they haven't prepared for it, and that's something you don't want to throw in the strategy. But that's if you have that ban available, because you might have to be banning more and more.
I think the Shen's going to be something that comes up.
It's true.
mean, you have to worry about the Shen Eve combo that they can pull off, and I think that's like one of TIP's strongest team comps, and they can just snowball the game completely out of control. And Shen's impacts, it's his best champion by far. So.
Yeah, and TIP also has to worry about banning Kalista because Apollo's not a very big Kalista player, but Sneaky on the other hand is.
That's true.
Yeah.
Very true. That Shen was also picked up by Balls yesterday. Used nice effect. So as we send it over to our casters to kick off the games, Incarnation says he doesn't expect many surprises from Team Impulse and is feeling confident in the matchup.
Honestly, I was more afraid of Gravity than TIP, personally speaking, because it's much harder to draft against Gravity, I feel like, because of their picks. It seems like TIP is a team that doesn't really have many different styles they play, so they're very predictable.
Well, hello everyone, I'm David Freak Turley, and sharing the desk with me is Sam, Kobe, Hartman, Kenzer. We can see just how predictable these teams really are. Cloud9 said they were more afraid for Gravity. We'll see if that ends up being the case here, and we're going to check out the starting lineups on this one. On the blue side, Team Impulse with Impact up in the top lane, Rush in the jungle, Gate in mid, Apollo and AD carry, Agent on support with Coach Fly behind them.
And on the red side, it's Cloud9. Up top is Balls. In the jungle, High. Mid, Incarnation. AD carry Sneaky. Support Lemon Nation. And the Coach Bubba now on the field with them.
Yeah. We've had now a total of, well, I guess now 3, right? Because Incarnation in for High, then High in for Medios, and now Bubba in for Charlie. 3 changes all in the same split. C9 just revolving door suddenly.
Yeah, trying to shuffle things around. And it's good that they did because they had a rocky best of series yesterday. Yeah. Starting out the game plan they had coming into the game all fell apart with that Amumu Karma that was supposed to work out. But they were able to pick up the pieces and recover.
Because I want to see it come back and work so we can like prove everyone wrong that Amumu's actually good.
High assured me that he still thinks it's good and he might play it. So I would be very happy if he does pick it again.
We'll see what happens. Team Impulse already
I gave him some tips for next time.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you are like the world famous Amumu Engage. You are a gold medalist on Amumu.
Oh, look at this. Impulse actually banning Lulu themselves.
Yeah.
One of their biggest picks for Gate. So he will be on more influential mid laner this time around.
Elimination's Braum also gone. I think the Karma there may be a bit less afraid of this champion. It leaves up the Alistair pinch for a first pick. Kalista and Nidalee both gone. Now the question I'm going to ask is who gets a Zir if Cloud9 is forced to ban that away from Gate? Would be a probably very strong first pick.
Yeah, definitely. That would be snatched up pretty quickly. Incarnation definitely wouldn't shy away from playing something like Victor as well, so Cloud9 very well could let it go through.
There's Sneaky's Tristana gone. Now both these guys have shown they are happy to play Ashe. She might even go away in the first round. Yeah. And wow, Rush's Evelyn is gone, which means Azir is up, and I think he just locked the one in Impact.
Yep, 100%. So Incarnation will probably play Victor, and they can just save that pick. Jump on some earlier priority here first. With all the jungle focus, makes sense to get a second round here.
Well, I think the picks and bans really made sense. You saw a clear goal from both sides. Cloud9 understood what was still very important for both these teams. The Elise with the Evelyn gone, the Ashe with the Tristana ban. They gave away the Azir, traded those two, and now we get into the very interesting parts of Champ Select where the teams have to put their comps together.
It actually is pretty interesting because Cloud9 showing a lot of pick already.
Oh yeah.
Versus Team Impulse. They were very impressed with High's champion pool.
There's a Shyvana hover as well. This is what Cloud Templar goes through every single game he casts, by the way. People hover his champion pools. Let him know what's going on. Rush, known very much for his Lee Sin. We'll see if he ends up going for that champion or if he's actually going to go back to playing the tanks that he didn't do very well on last playoffs back in spring, but he's going to lock in the Gragas, and Shen comes through, likely for Impact.
Yeah, it's been one of Impact's favorite champions for a long time. Plays a really good Shen. Can affect the bottom lane as well, which is what I think Team Impulse should go for in the match versus Cloud9. Trying to take over Sneaky and Lemon Nation's map presence really early on.
You know, there's something interesting going on here. Impulse have been really happy to play Kog'Maw over and over and over again. The Jan is still up. They've got a Shen to help him stay alive. Like, Kog'Maw has a good comp built around him. Though at the same time, I've seen that teams really like playing Ashe into Kog'Maw and trying to either pressure him or the other lanes where he's not. and try to really play that aggressive pick style. So this might really kind of coalesce into those styles in the last 5 picks.
And Kog'Maw, fairly slow on his feet, so a prime target for late game Ashe arrows, as is Azir. But Azir will probably take Cleanse. I don't know if Apollo will actually want to run Cleanse for the early part of the game. But yeah, back to Rush's Gragas. Actually, haven't been very impressed with it when I've seen him in solo queue on it either. But he's confident this time around to take it in. We'll see if he can perform here. I really thought that he was going to be a big part of Impulse's advantage over Cloud9, and if he's not comfortable on the champion, that might take away from it. But obviously, he feels confident in picking it up early.
It's interesting seeing what Impulse is hovering now. Cloud9, it feels like they tunneled really hard on making sure they could deal with a potential Kog'Maw pick, as Apollo's been playing it so much. Right, the Maokai grabbed up for some lock-in, the Janna almost a steal away if we're still tunneling on that strategy being a possibility. But now Cloud9 are a bit lighter on engage when they picked up Janna, and Impulse actually going to go for a very interesting team comp themselves. Sivir and Soraka on the same team.
It's been so long, but Apollo finally back on the Sivir that he played so much of the regular season on and sort of defined the Impulse style of 5-man moving down quickly. But this time around, they are going to have not only the Sivir movement speed for rotations, but also the Shen Global.
This is going to be interesting. So Sivir can spell shield arrows, and Soraka can stay in the back. And of course, we do have Gate right now with Cleanse. So good luck finding arrow targets for Cloud9. And I'm curious what this comp's going to come together as. I don't think they can really out-backline an Azir. So the question is, what's their team comp going to do? You said Victor at the very start, pick him up at the very end. No rush on that.
Yeah, Victor would be good because bursting down people is also great when the other team has Soraka.
See if they can get through it. Oh, no, it's an entirely different look. The Varus.
Okay.
So, comp comes through.
Is it an Ashe? No, just kidding.
No, it's not. We're not in 2009 Kobe. TP Ashe mid is no longer a common champion.
All right, well, they are going to have some poke here. And poke has been one of the earliest counters to Azir that arose back when he was at his strongest, trying to poke him out in lane and chunk him down before the fights even start. So we'll see how good Incarnation's lane phase is and how good his accuracy is with the arrows, because it actually is a very good champion versus Azir, one of the earlier ones that did emerge. If you can land a couple of those, you can take him out of the team fight before it even begins.
Yeah, and we saw Steve having some very good Maokai TP home guards earlier today, so certainly Balls can do a lot here as well.
Yeah, the other thing is, though, that Impulse do have Soraka, so if they get poked out, Soraka is a great counter to that poke. So Cloud9, if they hit one, they're going to have to immediately initiate with the Ashe Arrow and the Maokai. Good thing for Cloud9 is that they do have those really reliable initiation tools that they can just use at the snap of a finger.
Absolutely true. So we're going to see how these teams can actually fight on the Rift today. Now, you guys at home, warm up those Twitter accounts and keep sharing your series predictions with each game. Send hashtag TIPwin or hashtag C9win to @LOL Esports, and we'll update the fan poll throughout the games here. Now, 2 best-of-5s sit between either of these teams and a spot at the World Championship this year. Team Impulse, Cloud9 doing battle. Here we go into Game 1.
All right, let's see if Cloud9 can get those picks. They are going to be very heavily reliant on catching people out, but if they do, they have got plenty of CC to stack. See if Rush tries to focus Impact's lane as usual to try and get that Shen ahead.
It's true, it's been one of the strongest things for Impulse really all season long, that top jungle synergy. And it carried them very far. Rush had the option of playing Lee Sin, didn't go for it. Was Nidalee even banned?
Yep, Nidalee and Evelyn were both banned, and Elise was taken away from him. So
okay. I forgot if the Nidalee was shown there. So, drop to his third choice here, essentially.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
It looks like a semi-deep invade for Cloud9. Okay, just getting basically camp watching wards down. Gate loses his first trade to Incarnation. These players are now both 100% of their team's damage champions. That will go down over time. I can say with certainty.
True statements. All right, so the deep wards, semi-deep wards were put in just at the jungle camps to see where
Minions have spawned.
both teams are going to be starting. Maokai does stack the saplings for Incarnation. She'd be able to get that experience lead with a single arrow. Not actually going back to heal, whereas Gate did go though, so he'll have maybe 20 HP advantage.
Yeah, didn't use any flash charges. He's at 460 of 550. It's not that bad. And he'll keep standing up. I'm sure all will be well. Easy pick up there. Gets even more health back from that. He got the mastery as he should. So Rush and Impact are going to be duo jungling the bot side, and their own duo lane, Apollo and Adrian, not taking any XP for themselves. This all gets spotted by the C9 wards.
And this may signal that Rush is planning on focusing top lane, because they're clearing out the bottom half of the jungle first with the top laner tanking. So Rush will be at full health, and he can end his route on the top side very easily and have plenty of health to go for a gank. As he said, Cloud9 saw the start though. So I think that High should take this information and try and kill Soraka early. It's one thing that people always complain about Soraka lane, and oh, her laning is so oppressive and it's so difficult to deal with. Yes, in a 2 versus 2 it's extremely difficult because she could just play far back like this and let the AD carry do all the trading and then heal him up. But she is very, very gankable.
Yeah, thankfully for the Cloud9 lane, Sivir, not much burst. He can typically shield her damage, but High's looking for the mid lane, looks for Gate. He has Cleanse.
He lands
so
the
much
red
damage
buff
come through. Forced a flash before Repel Q could land.
Wow.
Didn't have Repel, actually. It's Q and W, but whatever.
Huge chunk, though. That was a very successful mid gank from High. Able to get not only the summoner, but enough health as well before the flash was forced to send him back to base even. And that is very big for Cloud9.
Yeah.
If Varus can get out in front of the Azir, he'll get to that level 9, maxing his Q even quicker that we talked about for poking him down, and can provide a lot of map control, especially for an Elise. If your mid laner can continually chunk down the enemy, can open it up for High.
Absolutely, and we talked yesterday about mismatches between the two teams. That Incarnation would likely do better than Gate, but also that Rush should be better than High. And right now, High has out-pressured Rush, forced a flash, forced a recall, and we still wait to see what this Gragas will do in this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Rush went for the hard farming, so
yeah,
it's the fact that High just got such a quality gank in there. Typical mid laner turned jungler, ganks for the mid lane.
Ganks the mid lane.
But yeah,
run a mid laner too.
Rush does have the camp advantage as he hard farmed the rest of them. See what he does with it. Maybe he'll be the one to go bottom.
Ah, true. See what happens here. Soraka does have a delayed route. Maybe she can set up a kill for the team. Right now, just the lane pushed in, Cloud9 running around looking for some warding, and the first recall from this Janna.
Yeah, easy communication there to tell them that the trinket ward was just dropped off, so don't waste any time going for that one. Impact here, trying to deny CS by taunting one is low.
Ooh, over the wall, no look pass from High. But Gate's able to get away before Repel can land, and all is well. That might be another recall forced out of Gate.
Yes, it's another recall, and the lane is frozen up on Incarnation's side. So they are denying Gate heavily here, making it very, very difficult for him to even get experience now. He's going to have to call in Rush. This is something Rush doesn't normally do, but to come in and be the ward support for mid lane, they might even need an early pink on mid lane.
There's actually a specific part that plays out here as well. You talk about the wards, I think they need it, but also keep in mind Varus as well as Elise both have hard CC, and Varus is going to hit 6 well before Azir.
Yeah. Gate does have the cleanse, so but he doesn't have flash, so he'll have to
block one of them.
He'll have to move immediately after the first CC lands, hoping that Cloud9 stack them, and he'll be able to dodge it.
See how that pays out. Gate right now down 10 CS. High still showing up for the map, wants Impact, and that's going to be the route into the stun. He's now very low on Shen, dodging away. Low on mana here, no further dive will happen. Impact going to slink away, and now Rush is here. No mana on High, here comes the trade back, and oh my god, 200 health left. High flashed away, and Rush is not far away from another body slam.
Yeah, I think that's done though, just an exchange. Oh, there it is, the cleanse.
Instant cleanse, but still some auto attacks to land. This Q could hurt. Good dodge.
All right, well now he knows cleanse is down. He can call down High. See if he can come in. Gate has warded the top side river though, so he should definitely hug that side of the mid lane, because knowing he has 0 summoners down.
1 minute left on the flash.
High's got to smell blood in the mid lane. Incarnation's ult will be down though as well, so it's gonna it would have to be High setting up his own cocoon, which is pretty easy, or even Sneaky with a cross map arrow here. They're approaching level 6. The other thing is that we talked about how you can gank Soraka. It's just very gankable. Apollo can try and walk in front of Adrian and spell shield the arrow. Yeah. So normally you'd think Ashe would have great gank setup here once she hits 6, but they may opt to use it in mid lane instead.
Another trade, and Apollo using a lot of health in this one, but Adrian does not seem to care about that at all.
Got mana back with the shield, health back with the Soraka. He's good to go.
Didn't even matter. These AD carries very close in CS right here. Apollo holding up nicely. There was actually an interesting player tendency with Lemonation. I've looked at his runes and masteries and stuff before. He actually really often runs gold generation. Like in this game, he recalled right on the money for Nomad's Medallion for the upgraded gold generation. He's going to be really rich, which will help him get the Zeke's Harbinger that he normally gets every game.
Yeah, he has always been one of those players that likes to skimp, especially even on buying wards early. So when Sneaky was playing a lot of Ashe, he'll play Zyra even to lay down plants, anything to avoid spending money early.
They got Hawkshot, so it's fairly safe here.
Yeah, because it does pay off. The more money you invest in gold generation early, the bigger the mid-game payoff there. Lemonation trying to get speed. Rush moving around. He has not been seen, by the way. All this ward coverage is in favor of Team Impulse. So this is a level 6 Gragas. Prime position.
Here. Lemonation, wow, down to 100 health already. Summoner heals back up. Spike comes back through, and now Rush is stunned in turret range. Couple heals from Adrian, but now the team comes in. First blood for Impact. He's made that one half, but the re-engage on towards Rush. Turret aggro, though, just on the minions, so no further damage to deal. First blood for Impulse.
Skipping on the wards. Impact able to come down as well with his ultimate and teleport used.
I'm gonna see when he used teleport.
Yeah, were those both used?
He TP'd the top lane already.
Okay, so
and had the ulti up.
Unfortunate timing for him, but they do get the first blood there. High does have Krug buff. He's gonna use it. No.
It will consume it though. He wants the buff to stun minions, so he takes less damage.
It does make taking Scuttler easier, but he's gonna make a beeline for this blue buff. Try and punish Rush for his bottom lane gank there. Make him pay for that first blood with the blue. Impact looks like he's gonna close the door here and hide.
Ooh, whoa! I got it. His smite just came back up in time. Slinks away, steals the buff. Nicely done, High. And all said and done, despite the first blood, Cloud9 still slightly up in gold because this mid lane lead that High manufactured.
Yep, the mid lane a really big part of that. Also, during the double teleport down bottom, High was able to rotate up into the top lane and take a full wave. So a full wave of minions, not too much to laugh at, especially if you're a jungler.
Yeah. He's tied with Rush coming back.
Very happy to grab those. So yeah, that's a CS lead, by the way. He got top lane farm.
Varying advantages throughout the map. Impact very rich here. 75 CS and first blood makes him the highest gold. But Adrian getting found out. Level 6 on Soraka does have flash.
Sneaky doesn't fire the arrow.
Flash still got used. You got to save the cooldown. Honestly, that seems pretty appropriate.
Well, they also got really deep wards down on that bottom side. Cloud9 definitely look like they're prepping a move down on the bottom here.
Really,
if Rush ventures anywhere down near the red buff, we'll see him coming.
Yep.
That gold generation investment that Lemons made paid off, by the way, able to get his sight stone. Oh! He does have cleanse and flash, but
there's a point blank arrow onto Apollo though. Heals come out, the flash! Sneaky gets the kill, he's gonna trade his life for it. Rush gets the kill, thank you very much. 321 for him. But nice play.
Rush still manages to make a gank on the bottom lane.
Because they knew he was there. They saw him walk through bottom jungle.
Sneaky gets his target though. So 1-for-1 trade. Impact's actually gonna farm between turrets here. Maokai doesn't actually care about that at all. Maokai is just fine taking a wave and AoEing it, so doesn't really get much done there. They both decide to. So much mid lane pressure here from High.
Oh dear.
And then remember, this all stems from that early game.
Oh! Trying back though, body slam flash, not quite gonna land, but Incarnation still forced winner from this one. Impact flash is over, he wants this still to happen. And Gate's still buying time, Adrian's alive somehow in the back line. High really wants this, but the exhaust is too much. The piercing arrow misses, and this is going from bad to worse. Impulse, oh wow! The flash away, finally the kill comes through, 4-1 TIP.
Adrian keeps everyone alive in that insane skirmish there. Both High and Incarnation burning all summoners to try and snipe someone, but Impulse are able to evade them for long enough, and 5 members collapse.
Man. All right, we've got a fun game in our hands, and it is a gold lead, though, for Impulse after all. 2-0-2 on Rush. The Gragas, you know what it's working out. 100% KP, no deaths on him. But Sneaky's got better items. He's pushing Apollo around. Yeah, this is a lot of damage that Apollo can't deal with. Last second spell shield. Oh, no!
Soraka comes again.
Oh, man, that's got to feel bad.
The Adrian ambulance.
Just back to full.
Just in time for some extra lane presence now.
Jeez.
That actually, even though Sneaky played it fairly well, is going to turn against them here, as now Team Impulse have a bunch of tower pressure, and Rush has made his way over.
Well, High says hello to him. It's going to be some scary damage back and forth, though. Spiderlings take some damage. Rush walks away. And Rush does buy himself a Sight Stone. Never would have thought Rush would be a player that goes Cinderhulk Sight Stone in the game.
His Gragas has been very good, actually. So
yeah.
Despite not being impressed by it previously, definitely need to give credit where credit's due.
Hey, so far dodging what poke he can. Remains down about 25 CS in this lane, though. It's definitely a rough one for him. Has kept himself from dying. That's solid. Incarnation, though, just farming very heavily means he needs to be an offensive factor in this game. High once again looking for something to do. Not far behind in farm, but still trying to find his first kill in the game.
Oh, yeah, they're walking into the web right now. Pink ward here, so High knows that he's not been seen. They really want to try and take down that mid turret so they can start getting their deep wards in, start making those picks.
Uh-oh, Sneaky gets silenced, and here comes the engage. It's going to be Agent who pulls aggro, takes a couple of shots, walks back and says, you know what, I'll keep Rush alive. Easy tower dive there, and all is well. Gate still getting poked around. You're seeing this Varus pick definitely work thanks to High's help early game. But the sides of the map are getting worse and worse for Cloud9.
Soraka's not good at starting off tower dives, but she's great at assisting tower dives. Rush able to just walk right through.
As the first turret, 3,000 gold lead for Impulse. Now fighting the top lane. High still trying to get himself into these battles. Impact does not have flash. There's only so much CC. There's a chance he can TP out of this one. Dodges the way into the brush. Still revealed, and Ball's going to find him again. This should be the kill. Soraka to use just to buy some time, maybe a bit fruitlessly, and Impact goes down. Balls gets the kill. Gate back in the mid lane, but the turret's already dead. He's got to raise this one up. He's not doing it. The Incarnation still not in a good spot. There's the explosive cast. There's the kill. Gate gets his first of the game.
So Gate has been able to absorb 4 or 5 ganks from High this game without almost any influence from Rush, and he has not died. He's been able to stay alive the entire time. Yes, he's getting crushed in CS, but that's purely because of the amount of ganks, and he's able to survive until the time is right. Yes, his turret goes down.
Arrow hits a long stun, but nothing to do.
But he makes the most of it.
If he hadn't body slammed, he would have pulled aggro with the Cinderhulk and actually taken turret shots there. That was pretty fortunate that he body slammed before the arrow hit him.
All right. See if Team Impulse can make this work. They do have Shen teleport, Stand United available right now. And this is pre-nerf Sivir, so very, very quick grouping here from Impulse is possible. They just have Impact shoved down on the bottom side of the map and try and pressure this outer turret here. It should be some easy gold. With outer turrets standing like this, it's very easy to get that split push going.
Yeah, especially when Rush can just win any matchup he wants to be in. He's gigantic on this Gragas. Level 9, 3, 0, and 3.
Yep, 100% kill participation for Rush. Looking to head him off. Targeting the Ashe once again.
Him. Second damage never happened. Adrian back to happy, back to healthy. Here comes the team pushing for the top side. Paula will save Spell Shield to just dodge this tornado, but top lane turret's still going to be losing a whole lot of health. Down to half, plenty of attack damage, should be going down.
And Gate can hold mid as well. He can just put back up in his Zir turret if he needs to. No problem there. Clears the wave, sees high as well, so alerts the rest of the team. They can continue pushing.
And Impact has teleport, so we can easily show up being Shen.
Objective earned without any answer there from Cloud9. Clean pickup there for Impulse.
It actually surprised me that C9 set their dual lane topside. When they're already losing the 2-on-2, they didn't look to contest Dragon. My thought is maybe they thought Impulse would Dragon off the turret den, and they'd trade a top lane turret for it, but as the lanes matched up, just Impulse picking up another objective for nothing of C9.
Yeah, neither team really looks like they're prioritizing Dragon stacking this game, so it will probably be down to a siege game, especially since Cloud9 here looking to get some deep wards for their picks, but I'm not able to cross the river.
The wards just keep dying as well. Slight at least can help, but
yeah, the thing is, you can make picks on your own side of the map quite easily as well. If Cloud9 keep up their defensive warding, maybe they can catch Team Impulse as Impulse are trying to keep up the pressure and they extend past the river into Cloud9 territory.
Yeah, we'll see if Impulse pushes any farther forward and opens up those opportunities. I mean, Cloud9 still has a crap ton of engaged. They've got Teleport Maokai, they've got Elise, they've got Varus, they've got Ashe. Missteps will be punished, but it's Rush who's always walking in first. No one else is getting caught out here. Cloud9 only got kills off of Sneaky trading his life for it.
You do equalize turrets here and get a little bit of harass on Impact, but with the health pot running, he actually gains life during it.
Always a rough situation to be in. Infinity Edge not yet done. Sneaky's actually not been back to base for quite a while. So you can see 2,000 gold. 2250 is the Infinity Edge upgrade from BF Sword, so he's got 2 waves to go.
Yeah.
Or Krugs in 1 wave, and then he'll buy a lot more damage.
Paulo actually got his Avarice Blade a lot earlier as well, and he's got an extra 100 gold from it so far.
Yeah. A lot of these guys getting very rich. Both supports. You can see already the Cloth Armor picked up for Adrian, the Amp Tome for Elimination. Almost definitely Zeke's on both sides.
Yeah. The thing is, it's hard for Cloud9 to pick someone off when Shen is holding on to the Stand United.
Yeah.
Because if the Ashe Arrow even hits, then Impact can still shield whoever gets caught, and a Sivir boosts, speed boost for the rest of the team means they can collapse really quickly.
Yeah. And as well, like, both supports are playing kind of non-roaming supports in that they're not like offensive playmakers. So, like, Lemon wants to sit in lane to acquire gold in the first place. Transition time like loses him money and thus loses combat stats on Sneaky. And so if he's not showing up with High, yeah, Stand United is just enough to prevent anything from really happening meaningfully here. Incarnation just sitting at that plus 20 mark. Like, Gate's not really budging from that early deficit. 2,500 gold separates these two teams. And as you pointed out a little while ago, Kobe, C9 did equalize the turret score, though. That was actually pretty strong of them. Mid lane is the 1 turret advantage they had. Trade for the 2 side outers that Impulse have gotten.
Yeah.
Rush now playing inside the jungle, though, really trying to get through High.
Impact has 2 completed items as well, so split push is also going to start taking a toll.
Cool thing for Impulse as well is it's a while to the next dragon, and so Gate could lose his cleanse and not care really. And with Soraka, he can kind of go up and like poke turrets down and play almost overly aggressive, take an arrow, walk back, and kind of lick his wounds. I feel like it gives tools for Impulse to really continue to play the pressure game between dragons.
Well, they actually have Impact farming the jungle right now too, so they're just trying to increase gold gain. They're not really trying to pressure secondary turrets or even this middle one that's the only one left standing as far as outers for Cloud9. This crab, not going to be, the vision not going to last till dragon either, so not much gain there. This is pretty much all going to come down to will Cloud9 commit to a pick before any action breaks out, because Impulse are very happy to continue to soak up gold here.
It's rough. Like, it's also weird because all of the Impulse gold lead is on their jungler.
An arrow from a brush, very, very difficult to spell shield.
Yeah.
Apollo's not paying attention. Plus, even if he does, Maokai's there to follow up.
All summoners up on all sides, not counting smites. All ultis as well. We'll see. Next fight, if it happens, will have all cooldowns available. Easy wave clear from Gate. Of course, you can't pressure tier 2, so Gate's not going to miss any CS pretty much ever again. Incarnation forced it back. He's out of mana.
Apollo knows he should be playing very safe right now, so his finger
very close. He's going to catch up to Sneaky. Here comes a lot of damage, and no spell shield comes through. Shen is not going to be enough. Oh my God, it is! He blocked the volley. Well, Apollo's alive. Lost a lot of spells for it.
That's exactly why we talked about Cloud9 being hesitant to commit to one of these picks. The Shen, Stand United, and Soraka on the same team makes it really hard to 100% the person that you pick off. And they barely were able to pull it off. And that was only with Sneaky's damage. So if there was any sort of follow-up damage there from Cloud9.
I know, but it burned 3 ultimates and 3 summoner spells for 2, basically. So a very big resource trade and close to Dragon.
It was a great play.
Yeah.
But
you saw how hard it was.
This is how frustrating it is to play against 2 global savior moves, even though Apollo not able to get a meaningful spell shield.
Jeez.
Impact comes in just before the volley takes down Apollo. Man, Sneaky played that so well too. The spell shield timed out before he shot his volley off, so he couldn't even have shot it earlier.
Yeah.
So as well as he could have possibly hoped for it.
But when you got 3 supports on one team, it's pretty good at keeping you alive. All right, so you can see the traditional stats for both these teams. Impulse normally much farther ahead than Cloud9 are in the early game, and sure enough, Impulse doing a good job.
And the thing is, too, that doesn't even really give Cloud9 that big of a window, because not only is Shen already past level 11 for the extra level in his ultimate, but he also had the cooldown reduction from Spirit Visage completed. It's almost back up Stand United again, so Impact...
Yeah, it's going to be up before Dragons.
Yeah, nothing...
It literally comes up first.
Nothing really lost there for them.
It's the summoners on Sivir. That's the big one. That's what they're really missing here. So it makes her a more tempting target. Yeah. Makes her easier.
Same thing with Ashe. And I mean, she flashed forward. Sneaky does have heal advantage, but that is it.
We've got 15 seconds on Soraka's ulti. TP comes in. They're going to be looking to turn this one around. Cloud9 high, losing a bit of health. And right into the front line they go. Ball's taking a ton of damage. Says, you know what? This is not a fight I wanted after all.
Yeah.
Azir choke point's a bit bad.
You have to cancel that teleport because you're teleporting into a Soraka team as well, who can lay down the silence on your arrival point. So very dangerous there from Balls, but he completes it and has to flash out anyway, losing them Dragon as well.
Yep. They're both playing slow and steady then. They haven't gotten a kill in a very long time, but all they've done is grow the gold lead. They're up still that roughly same 2,500, 3,000 gold, but they're getting Dragons.
It will take a while if they want to work all the way towards number 5.
Yeah.
Because they started so late with it. But
42 minutes.
Definitely a possibility. They're also moving up their wards into Cloud9 territory, so they're starting to take over the map with the extra lead that they do have.
All right, just playing the ward game. Impulse trying to move those lines up. Rush did upgrade a sweeper at level 9, basically right away. Mid lane does go down. Nicely done here by the rest of TIP. Ashe was stuck in the bottom lane, Sneaky pushing out a wave, so it gave control back over. Ashe right now not answered yet. Apollo will show up late as he was there to help shove the mid wave in. That will give a bit of time for Sneaky to deal damage, but Impact's on the flank. He said, oh, Sneaky did push in. That's cute. I'm Shen, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, Ashe flashed forward last time, so...
No flash in red buff.
Heals should not be enough to save Sneaky.
Good luck.
Good luck, though.
He's going to... Yeah, okay. Apollo's actually missed spell shield on every arrow so far, though. I know it's hard, but that's a little bit troubling.
No complaints on ping either. 7 ping.
Yeah. I don't actually know what the actual ping on this tournament client is. I said 8 yesterday. Someone made a thread about it. Why is it 8 ping? It's on land. It's like, I was a number. I just picked one. I don't actually know what it is for these players.
We are seeing Impulse being rewarded, though, for moving up their vision there. That was why they knew there was no support for Sneaky. Not exactly sure why he was extended so far down, because Cloud9 should be very well aware of the coverage that Impulse have with their wards now. They've been multiple times into the Cloud9 jungle.
Yeah.
At this point, you have to play so much more careful if you're Cloud9. Can't afford to extend and solo split push as Ash, especially.
Yeah. Well, if it's difficult situation shot calling you need, High is pretty much the expert. This man has orchestrated a lot of comebacks in his life. You wonder if it's going to be good enough for Cloud9 here.
Yeah, they're going to have to get, a really good arrow pick or something with people in the area to add damage to it.
Yeah.
Because they're definitely falling off as far as the team fight is considered. High definitely going to get outstripped here by Rush, who also had a great early game. So thought that the Rush versus High was going to be a big deal. And even when pushed over to Gragas,
Rush still came up huge. And now we're in a situation where there was a small timing window. Zeke's Harbinger is done first for elimination. And by the way, Ash with this kind of support with a Janus shield, Zeke's is a freaking ton of damage. C9 can try to set up a team fight before that mirror, or that window is mirrored.
All right, Impulse are in a position to answer though. Impact is ready with Stand United.
Take a lot of damage. Zeke's going to trigger in a second. There it goes. Plenty of damage coming out from Ash. And there's the stun onto Rush. They're trying to slow him down and finish Baron. They got it. They're going to get it. Now Gate locks the team into the pit. How's the second half of this fight going to go? Sneaky has no flash. Is jumped on. Going to take a lot of damage. Summon Heal comes across. But the rest of the fight, his ball's going down. He was flashless. He was going to be killed. Impact with the big play. The two-man taunt. Incarnation just does not do enough damage. He chooses to clear a minion wave with the rest of his life. But there's the taunt. There's the kill. There's the double. 3 for 1 for Baron.
Oh, what a juicy taunt there. 2 AD carries standing right next to each other without flashes for Impact.
And look at this by Impulse, peeling off exactly right. Gate goes mid lane, knocks the turret down. Top lane going to go down to the rest of the team. Impulse get 2 turrets and 2 kills up for that Baron take.
Yeah, they should be able to get an inhibitor one as well, just to add.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, Baron definitely not worth it there for Cloud9.
It was a risk, and the risk did not pay off. Good collapse by Impulse there. The inhibitor itself actually going to fall. No Ash arrows, no tools left. Impulse pulling very far ahead.
All right, well, with the super minions up top as well, even though Cloud9 have some Baron buff left, Impulse can definitely keep up the pressure. Cloud9's still going to be looking for someone to get caught off guard, though. Let's take another look at this. Balls, I think he walks into the soldier here. Oh, Rush body slams him into the Azir wall and gets knocked over.
Farther back.
Didn't matter anyways, because he was going to be the sacrifice so the rest of the team could get out anyway, but funny nonetheless. Incarnation and Sneaky had both used their flashes previously, so basically the dream for a Shen.
Yeah.
Double 80 carries sitting right next to each other. He's even had his Thorn Mail completed as well.
Yeah. Impact's huge this game. Even though he's playing tanks kind of repetitively now for Impulse, I'm still surprised to see him not on carry champions like an Olaf or a Riven or whatnot, but his tank play has been solid. His standing net is very good.
Yep.
And he still threatens the back lines here.
Like what Impulse did here with the 2 defensive global ultimates. They really stymied the early game of Cloud9. And Cloud9 with all these pick tools, not able to make anything happen.
Yeah.
Rush in deep now.
But he's going to find Incarnation, knocks him into the silence field. Nothing to do. Oh! Wow! Just wrecks him. Sneaky's gone. Lemonation's next. High's also in the sights. Big heal comes across. Lemon knocks the team back, and I guess they will buy a bit of time. But Balls now, the sole frontliner, will get them away from his turret.
You know what? I don't even know if banning champions against Rush even does anything anymore. His Gragas has been really, really good this time around.
Yeah.
Big improvements there.
Well, at least we're going to see teams switch sides around, so maybe they can actually get Azir for themselves. That ended up being a pretty big factor for both these teams. Gate having something comfortable. You talked about him getting picked on early game, but never ever dying.
He survived.
0 death. Yeah. Impressive as hell by Gate for all the pressure on him, and he's a big team fight factor now. All right, so definitely I think we'll see the plans switch up by Cloud9 in the next game, but right now it's just Impulse doing amazing things.
Get the arrow, but again, double. They got the silence field there and the slow field from Soraka. Rush coming in to cut him off. should be a pretty easy cleanup for Game 1 for Impulse. Cloud9 definitely trying to think about what were the most frustrating parts of this game to fight against. Feel like the Shen might be targeted.
Yeah, I think you get rid of the supporting cast.
Impact is his favorite. It's so heavily.
I totally agree. They target banned the main player, Rush, and I think the supporting cast might be more important here. We'll see if Soraka and Shen are added to the pool.
Yeah, very good signs for Impulse, by the way.
Absolutely.
People were getting a little bit worried for them, but Gate performing on something that's not Lulu, able to bring some late game damage now that he survived through the early game and the early pressure of high.
We'll see what they can do for the rest of the series then. What else these guys can do to push forward. A Moo, yes. I was actually a bit surprised not to see Shyvana banned at all, since that was what I was so successful on yesterday, but it was like he wanted the Elise, he wanted a pressure, couldn't quite get enough of it.
Yeah, he's still, since it's still been a really recent return to the jungle for him, so that's why he's still trying all these different champions. He's trying to find, you know, what will be the most successful for him personally, because he doesn't have as much experience as all the other jungle mains on the more meta champions.
Been at it for a couple of months, but still, it's definitely going to be difficult. Just all the old experience people had with Elise back in the day. But here comes the next fight. Impact running into the front line. He looks for balls here, and it's going to be Rush.
They got him.
Taking a ton of damage, but the shields come through. Rush is still not dead. Finally shut down the third kill, but it's all too late. Gate makes the big play, knocking 2 back into the base. Does get knocked down. Nation finally finds some kills on the board here, but it's still Impulse knocking down way more than they're losing here. 2 for 3 so far. Into the base, minions flooding in as well. Impact basically immune to damage here from Incarnation and Elimination. Turret number 1, turret number 2, perfect fantasy score here for Team Impulse. And that's going to be the Nexus going down. 33.5 minutes, one last fight. Impact refuses to die. There we go, 1-0 Impulse.
Yeah, 1-0 with a very relaxed and clean game from them.
Yeah.
That is what's going to happen if you have Soraka and Shen on the same team, though. Very relaxed defensive play.
Lots of saving.
Rush
F5.
still able to make some decently early moves on Gragas.
Yeah.
Targeted the bot lane, as we suspected, for Sneaky on his Ashe. Repeatedly ganked.
It was interesting to see what Rush actually did, because he really never camped for the Shen lane, didn't try that one at all. He somewhat helped Gate, but not a ton until he was getting turret dive later on, and it was just setups in the bot lane. And it was interesting watching one of the first ganks come through, because the 2-on-2 down there was pretty much equal. C9 was mostly shoving, and then there was one slow push that TFP finally built, and Rush was already back there on Tri-Brush, and he's like, yep, the first time my team ever pushed into the turret, I'm there to dive them.
Yep.
And it was great.
No defensive wards either for Cloud9.
He rushed Nomad's Medallion and didn't buy any wards in the recall.
Well,
and, you know,
high either for the
that's
jungle
true.
to try and help out there.
All right, that one. See, I'm gonna blame the jungler on that one. I don't mind the support getting gold income because it buys me a Zeke's Harbinger. Jungler has no use to me at all. It's just buy wards for my lane. That's my.
See how you feel about that next time you die.
Either way, though, I mean, definitely a good game by Impulse. We saw their early game go quite well. Rush did a whole bunch of work, and then Gate was solid. Gate got picked on, and Gate still held up. So that was great to see from them. We're going to see what else these guys can do in the next games. We're going to hand it over to our analysts for a breakdown of that first win.
Thank you very much, Freak. And what a pretty dominating first win as well. Things kind of panned out the way we figured they would going in the jungle, and then the other lanes for Impulse just kind of continued to snowball. The compositions out of pick bans, though, and I shouldn't say the compositions, the bans we were kind of questioning, I should say.
Yeah, there are actually a lot of bans in this. I thought TIP banning Lulu was kind of a big mistake there. I think giving Lulu over to C9 is not a problem. It also gives you another option for yourself because they like running Lulu compositions, so have that flexibility. They're going to switch sides, so I think that'll be substituted for a Kalista ban coming into the next game. But also the Kalista ban by C9 I thought was really weird as well because Sneaky plays a really good Kalista. You're leaving Azir up. You know they'll probably take that over it. Yeah. And even if they take Kalista, you get Azir yourself. And Azir is actually really good against Kalista.
Yeah.
She'll never be able to reach you.
And I also don't like how they banned Evelynn instead of banning Shen. Because what's really scary about TIP and how they play is that they play the combo of Shen Evelynn. And I think Evelynn on her own is pretty strong. Like Rush plays that full DPS Evelynn and just picks on everybody. And I think it's pretty strong on its own, but I don't think it's really something that's ban worthy unless you pair it with the Shen. And if you saw like the game, Shen was just beating up on bot lane so hard.
Yeah, when we talk about Impact Shen, it's always this thing where when we had Kiwi Kid on the desk before, he was telling me when he scrims people, he's always like, you know what? Impact Shen is just way far and above everybody else's. What he's able to do for the team, he's not just the person who's diving in and saving people. He's helping the front line. He's going and like getting their back line and making everybody focus on him. He's doing so much for the team, and no other Shen player seems to do what he's able to do in North American LCS. Even right here, he gets both damage dealers. These are the sole 2 damage dealers of Cloud9, basically soloing them out. He's 2v1ing right here.
They're not even hurting him at all.
I'm pretty sure they're killing themselves against Thornmail and Sunfire at this point.
Yeah, I mean, when your top laner can take out both your mid laner and your ADC, and they have Baron buff here too. It's just, I don't know. And it's also his most comfortable champion. This play like TP's behind him, and he just ends up setting up another play. And Ashe has no escape move, so you're just like pinned in here and just gonna get picked off every time.
Yeah, just the amount of global pressure he's able to exert with both of his TP and his ultimate. You see right here,
saving
just
potential.
another one too. Soraka was another very crazy pick. Like, you talked about it before. You're like, okay, Soraka can get through. I was like, I'm not 100% sure. I think it's
It was a question, right? I didn't think they would actually put resources into it, but you know, you have to question now.
Yeah, I think Soraka is something that definitely has to be on your radar now. It saved so many people. Cloud9, if they had gotten those kills early, they might have been able to snowball, and it would have been a very different game. Soraka just stopped that completely.
Well, it's just a really obnoxious champion to play against, especially if you're playing from behind. If you're ahead, it's like super easy to run.
It's so flimsy, yeah.
Yeah, it's not that good, and you can't really roam or make plays or anything like that. But the problem is High doesn't really pressure in the same way as Rush is, so they're not really able to punish the Soraka and punish that pick. So
you can see High having a word now with the team and the rest of everybody being pretty vocal at this point about what should probably happen and what they're looking at again against Team Impulse going into this next game. That was actually 11 games for Team Impulse that they had not run Sivir, and then they just went back to it in that composition. So they still have that whole bag of tricks they used up until this game to bring back out again.
I'm really happy to see that too, because they were just running one threat compositions and now using Apollo once again as somebody who's supplementing the team, getting Gate in there, getting Impact in there to actually deal a lot of damage.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good kind of change of pace. So now you still have that backup. You still can run the Kog'Maw composition, and they have to think about that, but now they have to think about this as well. So having more of that the enemy has to kind of adjust to, you see Cloud9 definitely has a lot on their plate coming into game 2.
Well, it's also really good because they show that they have a counter for the Ashe. They have that ready. I mean, Ashe she has no mobility, so you just pick Sivir and you just run her down and just pick tanks and just get on top of her, and you can pick her off super easy. And that's the same thing with Varus. Like they pick Varus to counter the Azir. Like, like this is our counter. But we're gonna give you Azir, but that just doesn't work when you have the Sivir ultimate and you're just speeding everybody in and you get run over.
On that too, because it was a counter pick, but Gate did what I want all my solo queue mid laners to do when they're outmatched in mid lane. It's don't die. Like, your job, I don't care if you're down 20 CS, I don't care if you lose your turret, just don't die to them. Don't start feeding them and don't let them snowball. And that's exactly what he did. He had 0 deaths for, I think, the entire game. He like a large portion of the game, he did not die. And that's what I love seeing.
It counts. When you absorb that much as a single player on your team, that doesn't get spread out into the other lanes, and it really starts to pay off for you guys. It paid off for Impulse in the first game. We are going to step away while the teams reset for game 2 between Cloud9 and Team Impulse. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
There's a Reddit highlight of it again.
Oh, really?
Yeah, your Mumu was on front page again. You did it.
Wait, is it front page?
Yeah, it is.
Nice.
They're like
hey, I said I would do some Mumu plays.
Somehow in the back line, High really wants this, but the exhaust is too much. The piercing arrow misses, and this is going from bad to worse. Keep putting Apollo around. Yeah, this is a lot of damage that Apollo can't deal with.
Okay, we can fight, fight. Here. Now, okay. I'm going I came in. 3 5. I'm going mid. Coming. I came in, 1v2. Yeah. After go top. Zero go mid.
Nothing to do. Oh! Wow! Just wrecks him. Sneaky's gone. Lemonation's next. High's also in the sights. There we go. 1-0 Impulse.